Hey guys, JRChunks21 here. So, a little while back, someone asked me to do a video on how I feel about the game industry as a whole. So I thought I'd go ahead and do that. In the background, you're seeing the Legion playthrough. I'm going to each camp and each NCR base and slaughtering them all, even the sick and elderly and injured. So, a little. So, to begin with, I'm not much of a gamer. I have played games on Xbox, PlayStation 2, early PC, and of course now my current gaming computer. To list some of the developers, I've played games from THQ, Rockstar, Bethesda, Nintendo, and Game Freak. So, to kind of go into detail, back when I first started playing games, back in the early 90s, mid to late 90s, sorry, video games were all inclusive. There wasn't any DLC, there wasn't any of this weird stuff that goes on now with loot boxes and stuff. I believe my first game system was like the original Game Boy. Then I got a Game Boy Color, then I got a Game Boy Advance, then an Advanced SP, then DS, DS Lite, etc. And in all of those games, there was never any DLC. And all of your cheat codes, for the most part, for the early Game Boy games and stuff, and even the Game Boy Advance, you could find them in a cheat book you'd buy at Walmart.
I've got you now.
Then when it came to the DS and stuff, you had to get a Game Shark or an Action Replay, etc. And honestly, I miss those games because they were a lot more interesting, a lot more fun. But for the most part, the game industry as a whole is just what it says. It's an industry. It's meant to make money. It's not really good for the consumer. It's not meant for you as the consumer to sit here and get a $60 game and that's it. You can replay it, replay it, replay it. That's not how it works. Game developers have realized they make more money by releasing a $60 game, and then a month, 2 months, even a year down the line, they release a DLC. In Fallout, you'd have 5, 6 DLCs. And that brings me up to the point I wanted to make. So as you guys have probably seen, I'm a big fan of Fallout New Vegas, and there's several reasons for this. Now, I've played the DLC for a lot of different games, Grand Theft Auto, Fallout 4, Fallout New Vegas, and several others. So, let's go down the list. There are 3 titles on the thumbnail. I believe it's Grand Theft Auto, Fallout 4, and Fallout New Vegas. So, here's the thing. With Grand Theft Auto, none of the DLC really blend together. A lot of them release vehicles, some of them do heists. So, let's just go by the 2 that I have the most experience with. Doomsday Heist was released last year to much fanfare. The trailer for it was fucking awesome. And from what I've played of the Doomsday Heist, they're amazing. Next, let's go to Smuggler's Run or the Motorcycle Club. Totally different. Yes, they're both criminal enterprises, but they're different in the way you'd run them in real life and in the game. So the DLC don't blend together. Now let's go to Fallout 4, where each DLC is just even more odd. Granted, they're all really amazing DLC, and if I had to pick my favorite, it would probably be Nuka World. Because it just has a good story to it, and it has a good replayability, in my opinion. But you've got Far Harbor, the Mechanist, Contraptions, Vault Tech Workshop, Nuka World, and I believe there's a fifth one, and I can't remember what it is. None of these five actually blend a story together. Now let's get on to the game that me, Oxhorn, and several other Fallout players all praise. That would be Fallout New Vegas. With Fallout New Vegas, the story revolves around you as a courier figuring out more about yourself and finding the people who shot you in the head and then taking a side as the game ends. The DLC were released in this order: Dead Money, Honest Hearts, Old World Blues, and Lonesome Road. If you ask anyone who's played Fallout New Vegas, 9 times out of 10, they're going to tell you it's the best Fallout. And here's the reason. They blend together perfectly. The story is just amazing. From the minute you get into the into the game, you go and find the Mojave Express and Prim, and you can get information on a courier who left a package and specifically told him, let Courier 6 handle it. You are Courier 6, and you start tracking down this man. It's it's not even a marked quest until you get the DLC to find out. And even then, in those DLCs, you can play through all of them without really digging into who this mysterious other courier is. That man is Ulysses. And you finally come to a head with him in Lonesome Road. But throughout all the DLC, you're learning more about him. You're hearing about his reactions. Even the great Burn Man Joshua Graham references him. You weren't the courier I was expecting. It's just an amazing DLC to look at. Fallout New Vegas is the kind of game where I'm willing to spend. If it was the year it came out, I wouldn't mind spending the $60 and maybe the 20 extra for all the DLC. But because it's several years removed, it's like 8 years since it's been released, I spent $10 to get it and all of its DLC on my computer, which is a travesty. I love the game. I replay it all the time. I play it in my alone time and my downtime. It's a great game. And I believe the reason for that is it was made by a producer who used people from the 1990s, the original crew of Fallout 1 and 2. In my opinion, that's probably what did this. Honestly, you can't beat a game that has such a good replayability. I haven't had a game like that since the 90s and early 2000s. Even now, I will play GTA for an hour and get bored and go to Fallout and I'll be playing for 4 or 5 hours. That is how awesome it is. And even Fallout 4 has gotten boring to me. To me, you can't beat replayability. And it seems like game developers have done away with this. Now, let me go ahead and let you guys reference a couple of different games that I have played to a pretty high degree. So let's start with Rockstar's Grand Theft Auto. It takes them several years to produce one Grand Theft Auto game, but it's an amazing game. Don't get me wrong. Grand Theft Auto is some of the most fun, but I think its greatest replayability comes from the fact that it is modular. You can mod it pretty easily. Even right now, my favorite thing to do when I hop onto GTA is to use LSPDFR. LSPD First Responder. It's a mod that lets you play as a cop. And that's the greatest fun I've had in the game. Now, how do I feel about Bethesda? For those of you guys who aren't aware of my opinion on Bethesda, I love it. And Todd Howard and all of the people at Bethesda are amazing. You guys make a game that is addicting. When I first got Fallout 4, I got it long after the hype. I think I got it Christmas the year it came out, or the year after it came out. I played for hours. I think I was up for 9 hours at night. It was an amazing game, and I loved it to death. I mean, I have great memories of my first time playing Fallout 4. I went into Diamond City, Arturo cheated me, so I blew his head off. And by the end of it, I had ended up killing everyone in Diamond City. I still have that save file. So, honestly, it is possible to make a game that's replayable. It's just, it seems to be going the way of Old Yeller in this case. Now, Obsidian and Fallout New Vegas. Let's compare them to those. When I first got Fallout New Vegas, I played through it, and I skipped quite a bit of the quest. I mean, I was level 10 going up against Lake Atlantis. Then when I went and the next game play I did, I bought Dead Money. I spent all day playing Dead Money. It was an amazing time. Now, what other games have I played? Well, I've played Tom Clancy's The Division, and I hated that. My biggest complaint was the always online feature. I just started out at level 1. And this is one thing I'm worried about with Fallout 76. If I'm shooting someone in the head at point blank range with a gun that's based off of a 9mm SMG, I should kill them. That's what I like about NPCs. As you guys are seeing, I'm shooting these guys and they should drop, but I can understand they're wearing armor. But if I shoot them in the head, it kills them instantly. That's what I want in a game. I want somewhat realistic. No matter what gun I shoot you with, even the smallest caliber possible to the general public, the .22 caliber will kill you if you're shot in the head. In fact, the .22 caliber is the worst to get shot in the head with because it can't exit. It will rattle around in your brain, liquefying your brain. But that's neither here nor there. Here's the thing. I've played WWE 2K. I've played Tom Clancy's The Division. I've played Halo. Don't even get me started on the new Halo. Back when it was original Halo 1 through 3, the story arc was awesome. I loved it to death. I get into Halo 4, it's just awful. It wasn't worth the $60 I spent on it. Halo 5, I'm like, well, maybe Halo 5 will be better. No, it wasn't worth that either. I don't buy games to go online half the time. I buy them for the story. And that's the issue the game industry is having right now. That is the issue I wanted to reference. All games, even now with Fallout 76, are focused on online because they know there's a way for them to get you to buy things. Microtransactions are a good example. Why would you not, if you're a business, why would you focus on single player where you're going to make $60 once and maybe some DLC for single player when I can give you free DLC, make you buy a $60 game, and use the Rockstar model of making everything in that new DLC online a pain in the ass to grind for. Or you can use your mom, your dad's, or your credit card and buy it. Then I make money, you get what you want, and I get what I want. That is a flaw in design. Never should your goal be to cheat your customers out of more money. Never. Because all that's going to do is make your fan base and your customers want to leave. And honestly, that's what made me stop going on to GTA Online. Now that I have GTA 5 for my computer, I can mod any vehicle I want. I can fly around in a Hydra and jump out with a double action revolver and shoot someone in the head. I don't have to play with a toxic community in the game. I don't have to pay extra for shit. That is the point of this. And here's what I think. Yes, from a business standpoint, it makes sense to use microtransactions to make more money. But why would you do that? As a consumer, I don't want that. I want to be able to play my game all the time without having to worry, well, if I want this, I've got to pay $9.99. It's not smart. Now, recently, well, not really recently, Bethesda released paid mods, the Creation Club. And the fanfare for it was great at first, from what I understand. And then people started seeing what they were charging. I mean, you have different dog skins that are just a ripoff. The weapons don't have good quests, there's no real story connected to it. And honestly, that's not smart. People don't play Fallout just because you have really cool guns. They play it because it is a game that has a story. You have an overarching story that dictates what you're doing. You can be a completely evil bastard raider in Fallout 4, but your main goal is to find your son Sean. Once that's done, there's really nothing left to do. Yeah, there's other miscellaneous quests, but Bethesda kind of screwed the pooch on that. They made it so everything was focused on finding Sean. Well, once you find Sean, spoiler alert, he leaves the Institute. He's 60 years old, and he dies. Once that's done, what is left for your character? Well, you can lead the Institute, you can lead the Brotherhood, you can lead the Minutemen, you can lead the Railroad. Hell, you can lead any of the factions in the game. But why? Your character had one job, one goal. Find Sean. Well, we found him. What's left? Nothing. It's just dead. Whereas in Fallout New Vegas, the game at least is smart. Now, here's my biggest hiccup with Fallout New Vegas. Without the DLC, and even with them, once you beat the game, the main story, the game resets. You cannot go in after beating the game and see what happens. You're done. That makes it a little less replayable. You had to start a new character or revert to an old save before you completed the game. Well, if you've completed everything up to that quest, what's there left to do? Nothing. And I'll praise Fallout 4 for that. It allows you to go and play after you beat the game. But honestly, without an extra quest, without an actual long quest, not one of Preston Garvey's another settlement needs your help. No, without an actual quest, it's just nothing. It's just another day in the wasteland. So this has been my viewpoint on all of the game industry's flaws and issues, bringing it down to just they aren't focusing on replayable games. They're focusing on making more and more money. I hope you guys enjoyed.